Hi, my name is Darian Kreft, and today I will be presenting you financial success. As many of you know, I was in basic training from the summer of 2020 to the end of 2020. Basic was really good for me in many ways. It allowed me to save a lot of money while learning a lot of useful topics. One that sticks out to me the most is a story about my friend Luquis. Luquis was a 36-year-old man from Puerto Rico. As a kid, he lived in poverty and struggled most of his life. He was not like many other people, though. He decided to make a change. In doing so, he moved to America to get out of his debt. This was very inspirational because he took his weaknesses and made them his strengths. This is something that I strive to do every day of my life. By using these topics that I'm going to show you today, I will show you how he did that. While reviewing this topic, I came across two very appalling statistics that concern me. The first one being the United States financial status is detrimental. The country as a whole is over $140 trillion in debt, along with the average American debt totals at $52,940. These numbers are astronomical and they should not exist. And this is all due to the American philosophy. The American philosophy is to spend more money than you make. It is also to get now, pay later. For example, let's say you go to a car dealership and you decide to buy a car. Most of them will mention it as $300 a month instead of giving you the total. It is like that a lot with banks, car dealerships, houses. They give you the month instead of the total. Also, due to that philosophy, is because us as people, we are entitled. It's just the way people are, it's just how we work. And we are not willing to accept what we have. We always want more. On the bright side of things, though, there are a few techniques to use to get out of debt or to save your money for retirement and use your money to create financial success. The first one being to save up your money and attack the debts head on using the debt snowball effect. This method was created by Dave Ramsey, and a lot of people use it today. The other one being is to get a job and put more than 10% into a 401k. A 401k is very useful. Unlike other retirement accounts, a 401k allows the company to add a certain amount of percent in along with your percent. For example, let's say you put 10% into a 401k, the company should match you 3 to 5%, which is good because it's not your money that's going in there. The third one being using a Roth or traditional IRA to advance your income later in life. This gets into mutual funds, compounding interest, and a lot of other techniques that you can use to advance your money. As we move on to the debt snowball method, it is a strategy where you pay your debts off from the smallest to largest. Let's say you have a car that is worth $10,000 in debt, a credit card worth $50,000, and a house worth $100,000. You start off with the car. Your payment, you'll pay it every month, and as soon as you get it paid off, you will transfer those payments for the car into your credit card payment. And eventually, you will snowball your debts into the house where you will pay off all your debts and you will be a debt-free citizen. Although with this strategy, there are many cons that most people are not willing to accept. One being that you have to be determined. It takes a while to see results. After you get that first debt paid off, it's like a checkpoint. You feel good, but you have another hill to climb. But once you get it all paid off, it's worth it. Another technique to save your money and create financial success is using a Roth or a traditional IRA. In a Roth IRA, the money is taxed right away. This means that you can avoid tax inflation. Tax inflation is, let's say you put $1,000 into your Roth, it's taxed right away, right? If you put $1,000 into your traditional, it is going to wait to be taxed until you pull it out, let's say when you're 65. By this time, your 1,000 has grown to 10,000, but it could be taxed 3,000 instead of what your Roth was taxed a long time ago. A Roth IRA also allows you to use up to the amount of money that you have contributed into it without penalty. Unlike the traditional IRA, where if you pull out at any money at any time, it could be taxed up to 59%. Although I understand that a retirement account is supposed to be used to not pull out until you're old enough to retire, but it is good to have that Roth IRA if you ever get in a pinch and you need some money. To move on into the pros of a traditional IRA, depending on your age and the amount of income one makes, it can lower the taxable income that you get at the end of the year. This meaning that you could get a higher tax return and you could use that money towards your debt snowball and to pay off your other debts. When considering financial success, using a traditional and Roth IRA is a good place to start. To continue, one of the best ways to succeed in life is taking advantage of compound interest. What is compound interest, you may ask? Well, let's say you put $1,000 into a savings account with a 10% interest rate. Now I know 10% is an unrealistic amount, but it just works good for examples. In 1 year, the account will have $1,100. The initial $1,000, which is the principal, plus the $100 in interest, which is made from the 10%. The $100 in this situation is what we call simple interest. This is where the magic begins. At the end of the second year, the funds will be $1,210. $210 strictly made off principal alone. Instead of calculating interest based on the original principal, compounding interest calculates the annual interest based on the principal plus any previous interest earned on the principal. The formula for this is compound interest equals total amount of principal and interest in future or future value less principal amount at present or present value. This is a very good topic to learn along with the rule of 72. The rule of 72 takes 72 divided by your interest rate to get how many years it will take your money to double. For example, an investor who invests $1,000 at an interest of 4% per year will double their money in 18 years. So in 18 years, their money will be $2,000, and 16 years after that, their money will be $4,000, etc. It is very good to take advantage of compound interest. Moving on into the conclusion, a wise man once said, "Live your life like no one else, so later you can live your life like no one else." This means that when you're young, do not spend more money than you make, or you'll end up setting yourself up for failure. Poor preparations provide piss poor performance. And once you've achieved getting through your childhood, saving your money, putting it towards retirement accounts, once you finally retire and once you've crossed that hill, you can live exactly how you want to when you're retired. With this information, take it and use it to turn your life around today. Like Nike says, just do it, and have a good day.